I really appreciate Skip believing in me, but we're supposed to be teammates. And I think that's what hurt me more than anything. It's easier to grow apart than grow together.
So it's officially been 13 months since Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe decided to break up. And both of their careers went in a completely different direction as a result of it. And a lot of it wasn't that difficult to predict. If you go back to our content 1 year ago, I said repeatedly that Shannon Sharpe's gonna be okay. If anything, this is gonna be a boon to his career. But Shannon Sharpe actually went on Cam Newton's podcast recently and opened up about the unforgivable thing that Skip Bayless did that resulted in them disbanding. So before we get to the content, we're giving away copies of College Football 25. All you have to do to enter is click on the link in the description down below. We have giveaways going on Instagram and on Twitter. And now that we get all that out of the way, work! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I wanted to open up this video by saying I have tremendous love and respect for Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. And I know what you guys might be thinking, Mike, you respect Skip Bayless? Well, you wouldn't have the modern sports debate show if it wasn't for Skip Bayless. A huge reason I ended up making this YouTube channel is one day I was watching Undisputed, I watched what Skip Bayless was doing, and I thought to myself,
I think I could do a little bit of a better job than this guy.
The next thing you know, I made a YouTube channel. So in a lot of ways, Skip Bayless inspired me to do what I do today. And for that, I'm forever indebted to him because I absolutely love what I do on a daily basis for you guys. But with that being said, he is a master manipulator, a great tactician to always make sure he's trending. And as a result, he's been relevant for 4 decades. No, I mean, seriously, 4 decades. If you don't believe me, look at this clip.
But when sports writer Skip Bayless moved from the morning news to the competition, it created quite a controversy among his peers. He doesn't apologize for the change or his big new salary, but being the Chip Moody of local print has made him the target for some resentment.
No different than anyone else. I feel like I'm the most hated guy in town. Now I can't go back to the morning news for fear of being gunned down by the guards. Go back to clean out my desk. I haven't even done that yet. I feel like I'll walk in the Times-Herald and 20 staffers will dive on me and string me up from the fixture or something, you know.
And from then on, man, Skip Bayless was credited for finding superstars in the industry. Whether it was finding Stephen A. Smith and bringing him on Cold Pizza, eventually creating ESPN's First Take and bringing on Stephen A. Smith to be his debate partner. These two individuals created the modern debate show. And whether you like it or hate it, it was great for ratings. Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless would take turns yelling at each other about sports. 80% of their conversations would be about the Dallas Cowboys and LeBron James, whereas the other 20% could be really anything, and it made for great TV. Eventually in 2016, Skip Bayless decided to leave because Fox Sports made him an offer that he couldn't refuse to recreate the same sports debate show on their network, and ultimately Skip Bayless accepted. Very bold of him to decide to move away from ESPN when he had a good thing going with Stephen A. Smith. He could have kept that job for years and years to come, but ultimately he decided to go to Fox Sports, and he said that he wanted Shannon Sharpe to be his next partner. Now, at that time, Shannon Sharpe was still trying to figure out his role in the space. He had some appearances on ESPN and some appearances on CBS, but they had him coming in on a panel, and that really wasn't good for Shannon Sharpe because it didn't really let his personality shine. But on Undisputed, you can make a legitimate argument that Skip and Shannon had way more chemistry than Skip and Stephen A. I mean, Shannon Sharpe's charisma and his persona, his swagger, dressing up in the nice suits, bringing cigars and Hennessy to the set, roasting Skip Bayless in the perfect way. I mean, these two were like peanut butter and jelly for the greater part of 7 years. Things were going really smooth until 2022 when they started to butt heads. The first incident wasn't that bad of an incident. I mean, it was just an argument in regards to Baker Mayfield. And like, there was a little bit of tension, but it wasn't anything that serious, as you could see here.
Says he's dead last in QBR, 17.8.
We're talking about yesterday. How did he look yesterday?
No,
Gets an F?
No. I got the floor. Because all you do is bring up those 11 games. All you do is go back and talk about when he was a rookie and won 7 games. I won't talk about what I want to talk about because I got the floor. Baker Mayfield is dead last in 2022 in QBR.
Blah, blah,
He's
blah.
dead last. I don't care. Blah, 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 blah. He's 57.8. He's 30-30 completion percentage. You gonna let me talk? Because that's what you do.
If you'll stay on point on questions.
You never stay on point.
Okay, I'm about to stay on point.
You're not going to get on point until I'm done talking.
Okay, all right.
That's right.
Spew all your hate.
I'm going to spew it
your
all.
Your Baker hate. Spew it.
17.8, because all you talk about, you're uncertain about Justin Herbert, but you get on the floor for this clown. He's a bum. He's trash, and you know it. And every time you bring him up, I'm going to let the world know exactly what he is.
Oh, you have 4 Twitter followers.
Don't worry about hold on.
Yeah, okay.
You talk about Twitter, and we come out here and discuss topics that you tweeted. So don't give me about that Twitter stuff. You can talk about my followers all you want, but I got the dead right, and you see how he do America? He talk about my Twitter followers. That's what I know I got it. And I'm going to continue to go. He's 187.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's not your turn.
Okay.
He's Pro Football Focus got it graded 37%.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay, go ahead.
Blah, blah, blah.
But the incident where things got really tense was when they were discussing Tom Brady. Now, Skip Bayless was trying to stand for his man Tom Brady, whereas Shannon Sharpe was just trying to say that Tom Brady sucks right now. And then Skip Bayless said something that really pissed Shannon Sharpe off.
Still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what? You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
You ever played your game, and it's by far.
Have at it.
Okay,
Take off,
I'm
bro.
going to have at it because I'm going to have at you.
You can tell that Shannon Sharpe is really upset about this because he truly felt like his partner didn't think that he achieved anything that great in the NFL, whereas Shannon Sharpe is a top 3 tight end of all time. And the fact that he was able to get to that level in his career, despite being a 7th round pick, is an incredible achievement. I mean, this was just the beginning of the tension between the two. Skip Bayless would put out a controversial tweet in regards to DeMar Hamlin. Shannon Sharpe would no-show work the next day, so Skip Bayless would have to do work on his own.
I apologize for what we're going to set out to do here today if it offends anyone. Obviously, my partner Shannon Sharpe is not here today. I look forward to seeing him tomorrow.
And ultimately, this would lead to the 2023 playoffs, where we would find out that Shannon Sharpe would leave. The verbiage said that Shannon Sharpe agreed to a buyout with Fox Sports, meaning that Shannon Sharpe didn't want to leave. Fox Sports approached him and said, hey, we're going to buy your contract out. And apparently, the rumor is that Skip Bayless facilitated this, which is kind of crazy because I could understand at this point Skip Bayless thinking, hey, I got Stephen A. Smith in the game. I found success with Shannon Sharpe. Clearly, I am the X factor in creating these successful shows. So I could easily do it a 3rd time. But the thing is, Skip Bayless really struggled this past year. I mean, Undisputed has hit an all-time low in terms of viewership. 4 months ago, we discussed how they were barely getting 50,000 viewers. Skip Bayless tried everything. He brought in Michael Irvin, he brought in Lil Wayne, he brought in Rachel Nichols, he brought in Richard Sherman, and he just couldn't replace Shannon Sharpe. Whereas this was the greatest thing that could have happened for Shannon Sharpe's career. I mean, the man has multiple podcasts that he's launched, including Nightcap and Club Shay Shay. Club Shay Shay had the most viral interview of the past year when Shannon Sharpe interviewed Cat Williams, and Cat Williams just went off, including this great part about Diddy.
$50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no. I did.
At this point, Shannon Sharpe just transcended sports. I mean, he's a cultural phenomenon. And it wasn't difficult to tell that this is what was gonna happen if Skip Bayless let Shannon Sharpe go. But Shannon Sharpe still maintains appearances on a sports debate show. He just chose a more successful sports debate show, signing with ESPN and teaming up with, ironically, Stephen A. Smith on First Take. Now, I will admit, I did like Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed a bit more than First Take. I don't think it's that much of a downgrade, but overall, if you ask me, despite me thinking that Shannon Sharpe was better on Undisputed than First Take, there's no question about it. This was the greatest thing that could have happened to Shannon Sharpe's career, whereas Skip Bayless just keeps going lower and lower and lower, and there's a question of whether or not he should consider retirement at this point. Now, Shannon Sharpe does make podcast appearances and discusses the situation at length. If you remember earlier on, he went on Stephen A. Smith's podcast and discussed the situation.
As you reflect back on that moment, what goes through your mind and how much trouble was the relationship between you two in at that particular moment?
A lot of that is my fault because there were times that led up to that I felt that shots were taken and I let it go. and he felt that he could go over the top in that situation. Whatever the relationship is, once one partner has no respect for the other partner then in turn loses respect for said partner. Then I think it's only a matter of time. Because I felt in that moment he had lost all respect for me. He had no respect for me. This is undisputed. Skip and Shannon, this is not yours. So it really, really hurt me. Had I attacked him personally, live on television, what would have happened?
And the one thing I appreciate about Shannon Sharpe is he's been consistent in regards to what caused him to want to leave Undisputed. Because now he goes on to Cam Newton's podcast and he discusses the straw that broke the camel's back.
But I know where not to go.
It's to a degree.
Yes, you can joke, but let's not go there. Let's not play in that area.
Right.
And he really goes into it in detail in regards to how disrespected he felt by Skip Bayless.
To think that because I said Tom Brady wasn't playing well, and he wasn't playing well, this is not to take away anything what that person has already accomplished. So I was just disappointed how it handled. Could have been handled better.
I mean, I really like the way Shannon Sharpe handled this situation. And the reason that I appreciate Shannon Sharpe so much is the way he went about this the whole time was just expressing his gratitude towards Skip Bayless for the opportunity to begin with. But he really dropped some wisdom in here, saying stuff like,
I just think that after 7 years and you with somebody, it's easier to grow apart than grow together.
At the end of the day, I think Skip Bayless really underestimated Shannon Sharpe. In the very beginning, this show was all about Skip Bayless. In 2016, it was Skip Bayless and whoever his partner was. But as time went on, when you compared both of these individuals' ventures into social media, Skip Bayless trying to make LeBron jokes on Instagram, Shannon Sharpe actually conducting great interviews with celebrities and athletes, there's no question about it that Shannon Sharpe eventually became a bigger star than Skip Bayless. But Skip Bayless was so consumed by his own hubris and his own cockiness, reflecting on the fact that it was him that brought Shannon Sharpe into the spotlight. And as a result, Shannon Sharpe would be nothing without Skip Bayless. But he neglected to realize that Shannon Sharpe was blowing up and he should have done anything that he possibly could to keep things together. And at the end of the day, I think Skip Bayless's own cockiness was his own downfall, because if you go into ESPN and you tell the bosses, hey, I have a great idea for a sports debate show, give me Stephen A. Smith and we're gonna make magic, and then you hit on that, then decide to take more money to go to Fox, and this time you make an even better show with Shannon Sharpe, obviously at a specific point you're gonna think you're like Teflon and you're gonna be able to keep pumping out these great shows no matter who your partner is. You are the common denominator consistently. But the reality is that Skip Bayless just picked two incredibly talented partners in the beginning, and he let the success go to his own head. At the end of the day, I still think Skip Bayless is a legend, and this is the greatest thing that could have happened to Shannon Sharpe, but obviously this was the worst thing that could have happened to Skip Bayless. So let me know in the comment section down below. Make sure you check out Cam Newton's whole podcast with Shannon Sharpe about this. It's a great watch. Apart from that, I don't know if you guys heard, Tua and the Dolphins can't agree to contract terms. Tua wants to get paid like Jared Goff or Joe Burrow, and the Dolphins just don't want to pay him that amount. Could this result in Tua getting traded? Well, we have a whole video on that. I'll leave it in the end screen, and I'll catch you guys there. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.